All right, we're back. We're back on the DevRev, and I'm just going to talk to you real quick about how to stay current. Now, it's funny because a lot of people, and this is how I do it for the podcast. Okay, so hang on to your shorts because we're going to do this. I get asked this all the time, and I have one criticism real quick when you ask me this question. I usually ask why. Okay, so Chuck, how do I stay current on React? And the answer I give is, well, first, why, right? Because if you're trying to stay current so that you can, build some media or, be the smartest person in the room or things like that, then it's different, right? Because you're trying to put stuff out then that people, everyone else cares about, right? Versus I want to stay current because, and the answer I usually get is job security of some kind, right? And some people are like, well, I don't mean job security. I just want to be able to go get another job if this one goes away. Sorry, folks, that's job security. Let's talk, okay? So the reason the why matters is because, like, if I'm doing it for a podcast, right, it's kind of the same reason as the smartest person in the room, right? You're talking about the cool new stuff that people care about, and so you look good, right? But for us, we care about that stuff because you want to hear it, and we want you to listen, right? And so it makes sense to kind of tie that stuff together and go, okay, I want to stay current because I want to know what to talk about that's going to get people to come over here and listen to my podcast, okay? But for other people, there may be some other things in mind, right? So how do I stay current is I work for a consultancy and I need to be up on the latest stuff, right? So that's not, I need to know this, whatever people are talking about, what's popular, whatever. That's, I need to know how to solve these problems so that when I get a new client, I can go and I can pull the trigger and solve those problems, right? And so the concern does matter, but the method is the same. You're just going to pick different people that you're paying attention to when you do this, okay? So the technique I'm going to tell you, it actually comes out of a book called Expert Secrets. In fact, I have it right here. There we go. Expert Secrets, okay, by Russell Brunson. If you can't tell, I'm a fan of Russell Brunson. Anyway, so what he talks about in there is the Dream 100. And the Dream 100 is the 100 people that you, in my case, would love to get on your podcast, right? Or the 100 sources where you can find the people who are your target audience, which is also applicable to the podcast, right? If you are doing this for like personal growth or business, right? So it's I want to be up on things so that I know what the latest solutions are, what the latest libraries are, what's coming out in Rails or React or whatever, right? Then that Dream 100 is going to be the people who know that stuff and are sharing it, okay? So it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, these are the people I'd love to get on my show. It could just be, if you're doing the podcast, if you're doing the mastermind, then yeah, you're going to do a Dream 100. But yeah, that's the technique, right? So you make that list. Now, how do you make that list, right? I mean, I don't want this just to be this pie in the sky thing where it's like, oh, okay, thanks, Chuck, I'll just make a list, right? But now, who do I get? How do I get them, right? I want to give you the actionable steps. So I've seen people do this in spreadsheets. I've seen people do this in like Trello or some other task tracking system. Honestly, I'm working on actually systemizing this programmatically, right? Because what I'm doing is, so my Dream 100 tends to be people, and not just people, but like blogs or websites, right? So news sources, newsletters, Facebook groups, Twitter accounts, authors, right? So people who are writing books about the stuff that I need to care about. Who else? Who else is reaching the people that I want to reach, right? So it's other podcasters, it's YouTubers. I can't remember all the categories I have in my system. But you get the idea, right? So you have all these different people, right? And so then I just go work through these places, right? So I'll go on Twitter and I will do a search for React or hashtag React.js or something like that, right? And I'll see who's tweeting about it. I'll see who's following them. I'll see how many people are following them. I'll see the kinds of things they're tweeting about, right? Because if I go look at their feed and half the tweets are political and the other half of the tweets are look at my cats, right? But they're a big name in React. Their Twitter feed's not going to help me. I'm not going to list it, right? But if they're periodically, oh, well, here's a blog post I found about this React thing, right? That's useful, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that in my system, right? And you do the same thing for the Facebook groups, right? Here's a React.js Facebook group. They talk about all the React stuff. This is all the stuff that I want to know. This is all the stuff that I want to learn, right? This is a place I can get help. This author wrote this React.js book. This person put out courses on React.js in Pluralsight or Egghead or one of these other places. Right? So you get the idea. Here's a newsletter. And then what I do is I just schedule time to go look at my Dream 100. And I try and move around the list, right? Because I don't have time to keep up on all of it, right? 100 is a lot. It's a lot of places to go look every week. But if I'm looking at some of them weekly, right? Like the newsletters, it's pretty automatic. It shows up in my inbox and I can skim it in a minute, right? So I'm going to do that every week. But I'm not going to go and troll through the entire Facebook group every week, right? I'll go troll through that once every few weeks, right? Twitter account, same thing, right? Maybe I make a list in Twitter and just, then I can go look at Dream 100 or Dream 100 React, right? And I can go look through that list, right? Go see if so-and-so has any more books out, or go see if they're tweeting or participating in conversation somewhere else, right? Forums is another one, right? But you make this list and then you can kind of go through it and you can say, oh, this is really interesting, right? And so then what I can do is I can say, okay, well, in this React forum, somebody actually asked this really good question about React. And, somebody else posted this really good answer, right? And so for the podcast, I can say, okay, well, I'm going to get the person who asked and the person who answered to come on the show, and we can talk about the ins and outs, right? More than was covered in the forum. Or if I'm just trying to stay current so that I can better serve my employer, my clients, or whoever, right? Then I can file that answer away so that if I encounter that situation myself, then I know how to solve it. Or if I encounter something that looks like the answer is applicable to that, then I can do that too, right? So that's how you keep your tabs on what's going on in the community. Conferences is another one that I left off, right? Because a lot of them post their talks to YouTube. So you get the idea, right? These are the things that we're doing to actually connect all these different pieces so that when it comes down to it, I can stay current. I know what people are doing. I know what's going on. I know what people are talking about in the community. And then I can go out and I can do what I need to do in order to provide what I'm going to provide. And that's it. That's the Dream 100. Now, again, I have a walkthrough that's part of the mastermind that shows you how to do it. I'm doing it in Trello. And we just break it all down. And some of my Dream 100s have a lot more than 100 in them, right? But then I can go look through them and I can go, okay, somebody keeps asking, there are a lot of questions about this particular, Redux, this particular aspect of Redux. So let's do a podcast episode on it, right? It's fairly focused. We may not even get the authors of Redux or something related to Redux on the show, but we can go in depth on that particular thing and put the content out there because it's useful to the people who listen to the show. So yeah, that's the idea. That's how we do it. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop right here. If you want more information, I recommend the book, Expert Secrets. It is awesome. He also has Traffic Secrets that just came out. I haven't read this one yet. But yeah, great stuff. And if you're looking to do marketing or build a business, it's really great. But anyway, yeah, we'll go ahead and stop here. And until next time, folks, Max out.